Hello, I think I'm working. Finally, I'm on live. All right. Sorry for the delay, everybody. Just last minute touch and go, getting around to being on time and typing up my material so that everything is working fine. All that additional noise in the background, that's me being a bachelor. You know how that goes. Anyway, I want to thank you all for joining me as soon as you see this and let me know that you can hear me. I think everything appears to be working properly right now. All right, so it is Clear Blue Radiance as usual. And I am the originator, podcast host, Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey. And today's date is Thursday, the June 20th, 20th, June 20th. And of course, I'm here on Resonant Essentials YouTube channel, which is also Resonant Essentials Esoteric School of Metaphysics channel. And today is a very interesting topic. I wanted to come up with something that I think was unique, and I need to type it in. And it's called, today's topic is called Success is Acknowledging make sure I have it correctly. Always misspelling the word. So success is acknowledging. Okay, hold on. Seem to have a lot of overlay here. Oh well, we seem to be having some struggles here. Let me try this again. Success is acknowledge. Seem to have a runny nose at the same time. Yeah, success is acknowledging your self-worth. And I just see that this is one of those days. So, success is acknowledging your self worth and how you choose to live. So, we're going to put this up there. Success is acknowledging your self worth and how you choose to live. I see they're trying to give me a lot of poll activity, and I don't need all of that. So, anyway, this is today's topic that I'm going to talk about. And what's important is sometimes we have questions, sometimes we have doubts. We are constantly changing who we are or who we think we should be in the world, and all of this stuff that we are finding ourselves doing, striving to move ahead in our own lives. So before we get started, I'm Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey. And as the originator of this podcast titled Clear Blue Radiance, as well as the host, I'm here usually every Thursday at 1 p.m. Or 1:15 p.m. Mountain Time, which is 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, and 12 p.m. West Coast time. So, what this is usually is a talk, like sharing some thoughts, ideas that run through my head about life's experiences. And since I'm affiliated with Resident Essentials, which is an esoteric school of metaphysics, all that I'm talking about is a part of metaphysics. We are always striving to do better, and that's what we're all looking to accomplish, to do something better for ourselves. Now, I've been a spiritual counselor for a long time. I've been a student, teacher, and practitioner of meditation for 53 years, been a numerologist for 50 years, and everything else in between. So, this is always an opportunity to step forward to share this insight with everybody. I always strive to assist people, such as yourself and many other kinds of people, to gain greater clarity in your own life and to understand your purpose. Now, our purpose changes. Our purpose, like, answers the question of why we're here, what we're doing here, who are we, what are we doing now, what do we used to do. We have all those kind of thoughts going through our head all the time. We're always trying to figure out what in the heck are we supposed to be doing? Where are we really headed? Do we know what we want to do? And often your life should change frequently. Some people are fortunate to have no changes going on in their life, and they're comfortable with that. Some people get up and move around. Well, I did. I finally did. I moved from 1,800 miles away from the East Coast to here. But I went from Long Island, New York, to living a lot of my life there, a little bit upstate New York, then came into New Jersey, then back to Long Island, then out to Jersey, and then it was figuring out how to get from Jersey to be out here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And it took some time. Yeah, I had some assistance through friends and so forth. But here's the thing, whether I had the friends or not, I was going to get here. Why? Because I was destined to be here. This is when you move, it's not often favorable for everybody. Some people are accustomed. Well, people ask me, do you miss the water? Yeah, I miss the water, but I don't miss the personalities around the water. I miss the water, but I don't miss the personalities, the kinds of people that are attached to the water. Yeah, there's a lot of dust, sand, cottonwood, seed, spores flying around that can re-trigger asthma for me. I've run across some people here that give you the they don't see color routine. That's their mind. We know who they are because if I turn around and look at them, they're sporting MAGA, on a sweatsuit or a red hat or whatever. But that's their life. That's not my life. My life is according to how I see it to be, how I think it should be, how I want it to be. So, what I have decided to do today is talk about success. That's a good topic. I was just speaking to Michelle earlier today, and I said last night I thought about, you know, ABC. Do you know what your ABCs are? And I thought about it. And so A was authenticity, B could be beauty, B could be betterment, C could be creativity, B could be brilliance as in light. But then when I finally went off to sleep, got to bed around 11:44, those master numbers, got up to drink some water, It was about 3:44. I thought, wow, it's going to come to me sooner or later. Sooner or later, I'm going to have the proper title and I'm going to have the information to go along with it. When I finally decided to get up after being a little lazy, but finally got up at about 7 o'clock, 7:30. Then I started tossing it around in my mind. Didn't do any exercises, but I decided, hey, why don't I do a short meditation? Just like I teach my students on Saturday. You can do a 15, 20-minute meditation. Keep your mind absolutely clear and see what comes up. So I projected this thought to the higher self. What is the topic for today's show? What is it that I can share? I can make it generalized or detailed enough that everyone would see what they need to see. So this is what I came up with. Success is acknowledging your self-worth and how you choose to live. And I pondered it for a while, and it felt good. So whenever I notice that I'm putting together these topics, I'm not even rating these topics anymore. It just comes to me and I know it fits. I always make sure that whatever the title is clear to me, that will be clear to others, that I could find at least four basic points within the title that help express what the title is. In other words, they become my bulletin points. And in this case, I have basically four, and then I added an additional one, so I have five. Then I had some other notes underneath that. I think I should pose those other notes right now. There are things that you should not do, things that you should perhaps avoid, but they definitely fall into the category of not doing when it comes to understanding this specific title. Do not compare yourself or your life to others. Depending on how you grew up, the area of the world or state or province or city or town, neighborhood, do not compare yourself. Do not compare your life to others. Unless you're really grown up, destitute, poverty stricken. Somewhere you have to find your way out. And we know now, metaphysically and spiritually speaking, that through the power of our own thoughts, we create our reality. We create everything in advance before we decide to roll out here onto the earth, into this experimental globe. Now, here's another thing. You can only live your life and not someone else's. So if you're not comparing your life, how you live or yourself with others, then you are not going to live your life by someone else's means. So you're not going to go, I wish I was that person. I wish I was a celebrity. We don't know what celebrities go through. We see it on social media. We see it in magazines. We hear about them in the news. But we don't have their life. Some of them had very crappy lives and turned them all around to something positive. There are those people who are living for themselves a very positive life, but they're too busy being judgmental of other people. So people who have been very successful, and you see it all the time in the world of celebrities and athletes and musicians, entertainers, a lot of people putting everybody else down because that's what they want to do. don't realize they're next. What we say that someone else should or shouldn't be, we wound up becoming. Reverend Ike used to say that all the time. He used to say, if you see a wealthy person, don't say, that look at that wealthy person. He said, because you could be next. You're seeing that person for a reason, in your life for a reason. That's how he would say it. What does that really mean? What he was saying is, says we are projecting and creating our own reality. We are putting the various people we see there in position, either to act as a catalyst for us, to motivate us, to maybe cause us to have a certain reaction. In any event, they're part of our canvas of life. We're putting them in there. Even if they don't know you, they're putting you into their life. Here's another part. Do not allow others to criticize. This is very important. Do not allow others to criticize what, when, where, how, and why you choose how to live your life. I'll say that again. Do not allow others to criticize what, when, where, how, and why you choose how to live your life. You know, this is why you see a lot of reality shows. They've been going on for 20 years, and people are drooling. Hey, this is how that rapper lives. This is how that actress lives. This is how this person lives. Then there's the programs where you have the bachelors and the bachelorettes. And these people sign up for that. And some people want to become the cowhands, want to know what it's like to marry a wealthy cowhand. Some people want to know what it's like, the TV show they used to have called Survivor. They put themselves through all of those changes with people they don't even know. And then there's certain rules and regulations where the people in the group can put up who they want to put up on the block to kick out. It's like crazy. Then there's before that, there was a show called The X Factor. And the guy that's a podcast host, Joe Rogan, he's a jiu-jitsu black belt guy now. He used to be that host of that show. And it'd take them people through all of them shenanigans just to win $25,000. Not $50,000. Not $100,000. But $25,000. And they had to do some of the strangest things, like eat snails. Live snails. Not cook them, eat them live. Eat bugs. Be thrown into a tank where there's ants crawling over, but you don't see them because you're in a tank where there's a black light on. You don't see, but everybody else can see what you're going through in that tank. They was eating ostrich eggs, fresh out of the ostrich, all kind of stuff. And people had to sign up for this. They had to sign the waivers. And they went through all of that as a competition to get to be the one at the end to win $25. And they did it with single people and couples. Well, it's the same thing here. Do not compare yourself or your life to others. You can only live your life and not someone else's. So don't let someone else criticize you. We know many of us have what they call the quote unquote thick skin, and many of us have the thin skin. Well, I can tell you, my skin ain't thick. Thick, it's thin. I don't have often a filter in place to kind of cast out and deflect what might be thrown in my direction. What I've learned how to do is let someone be as mean as they want to be without physically hurting me, say all they want to say to me, and don't respond. I can give a fake response, but I don't have to respond. Why? Because I now know through life's experiences and pondering over my own actions, thoughts, words, and deeds, that what someone spews forth at me is really spewing forth at themselves. People say, well, are you a mirror for someone else? No, you're a mirror only for yourself. You are creating each cell of your life, each piece of thing. You got all these hundreds and trillions of data, thoughts coming to you, helping you remember. You place these people in place. We did. They just didn't walk in, put the key in the doors, and set up shop in your life. You set up something from the time that you decided to meet with these, gather with these higher self souls, right? In the ethers, you gathered together who you wanted to be, mom and dad. If you wanted to be a single child or have a sibling, or if you wanted to be a twin, if you wanted to have a sister, aunts, uncles, grandparents, both sides, or none. Maybe you chose that you wanted to come into life and be an only child. But the thing is, and you could be anywhere in the world, but the thing is, you chose to come to this particular globe and this particular galaxy. And the rules and regulations that all like minds formulated together is that you don't remember anything once you are born into this world. But you have planted certain things, personalities of people, colors, gemstones, music, foods, books, you name it. You planted these things ahead of time. And hopefully, in the game of life, as they call it, you figured out the pattern of your own behavior, your own thoughts. And somewhere you decided that I'm going to now find the golden nuggets about my true self, find them as quick as I can so that I could birth the new me onto this planet in due time. So, along with not comparing yourself or your life to others, knowing that you could only live your life and not someone else's, although you can't jump lanes, you do not allow others to criticize what, when, where, how, and why you choose how to live your life. Well, here's something else. We do not know what someone else is struggling. We don't know. Why? Because we see people, most of the time, we see people smiling, right? Acknowledging your presence as they walk around you or toward you, maybe in a mall or a shop, a restaurant, or a cafe, or maybe at a donut shop. You don't know what the person is struggling with because they're giving you this appearance that all is well. People don't know what you're struggling with because you might be giving them the same appearance, all is well. And we often do not listen to them when they're talking to us or uniquely and specifically observing their mannerisms. You know, how they carry themselves, how they stand tall, are they engaging in conversation eye to eye? Are they close enough in proximity where you can give them a hug, you can receive a hug or a handshake, whatever? Well, even if you know that a person is going through something, you have to remember you have gone through things yourself. Sometimes we see people in our lives that we have placed there as reminders of how not to be, as well as How can we help, especially if that person is reaching out through their words, their terminology, through their facial and body expressions, through their words, verbally spoken or written? Are we paying attention? Many times we forget when we were going through difficult times. Many times we didn't share everything with everybody. You might have been living in a great household and didn't share anything with your sibling, with your parents, your grandparents, with your neighbors, childhood neighbors. Uh, Mostly people may say something to their high school peers, college peers, but then again, maybe not. They keep it to themselves for fear of judgment. Because remember, you have to avoid judging another person because you see them going through something, but you have to make sure that you're not pounding them over the head with the judge's hammer, telling them they should feel appalled for what they're doing or how they're living. It's like when we see a homeless person, be glad you're not one of them. I know that sounds cruel, but here's a flip side of that. You see the person living homeless. Can you make it better for them? We see a lot of these things on Facebook where a guy is in India or Arabia or Africa or anywhere, London, and they see a thin homeless man on the street. They can see he's disheveled. They can see has not had a bath. And this person sets up a camera so they can see themselves assisting, asking this person, can they assist them? Not with just food, but with other things. And you see them bathe the man, thoroughly bathe him. Then they see the crowd building up. The crowd is not helping, it's just the one guy doing it. And he has someone recording the whole thing. And you see him bathe the man, dry him off, shave him. Because maybe shave his, cut his hair for him. Put the special healing ointments on his body he hasn't seen or experienced. Then the person goes off and gets clothing for them. Now they've bathed the person, they clothed or scented the person, whatever they wanted to do, make that person feel better. Give them some additional clothes that they can carry. I saw how they gave one guy did, I think, one of the uniquest things that I've seen. Not only he just fed the man and shared a meal with him, but he gave him one of those hand push carriages, loaded it up with water, with fruit, and other little things that a person can eat, and things they can use for hygiene, and a basket. Now that person went from, in that part of the world where he didn't need a license or anything to be a vendor on the street, gave him something where he didn't have to feel as though that he had to beg for money every moment of the day. He can now sell water to people. He can now sell food. And the food was already made. It was just wrapped so that, people can't say, well, he's touching the food or anybody. But he gave him the beginning stages of a lifestyle, which was a blessing to him. Sometimes we have to do things to make ourselves feel better, but also to assist someone else. So today's topic: success is acknowledging your self-worth and how you choose to live. Well, here are the key words. What is success? Success is where we decide what that means to you and only you. See, is success having a fancy home in a fancy neighborhood? Could be, as long as you can afford it. Is success having Gucci bags, Versace clothes, Florsheim, Stacy Adams shoes, you name it? Is success eating in the finest restaurants a few times a week or every day? Is success eating the top of the line foods once or twice a month or every day? Is it having the finest car to drive around in or to be chauffeured? We decide in our minds what we want that outer image to be like. We have to figure out what that is. We have to figure out what is the most important thing that makes us feel successful. Next, acknowledgement. Mentally, in your mind, accepting what is true to you. That's where affirmations come in. An affirmation is a statement that you know that's already true about your situation, your life, yourself, your well being, and you're just stating it verbally, putting the emotional energy in touch with the words and the images or the thoughts of the words until you can make that thing concrete in your own life. So you want to acknowledge, you want to mentally accept this new way of thinking about yourself, this new way of being about yourself. You want to accept, metaphysically speaking, you already know that you're up here. Now, how do you embody that on earth? How do we bring these positive, magnetic, enlightening elements into our own life so that we can utilize them, so that we can answer our own question of what, when, why, how, and where? So you got to figure out, decide what is being a success for you. You must understand that first for yourself. What constitutes success? Then, how do you acknowledge it as truth for you? Next is self worth. You are the most valuable essence in your own life. Not what someone says about you, is what you think and say about yourself. Your self worth is your most infinite, valuable essence, truth in your life of who you are. Next, choose to live, right? Because I said success is acknowledging your self worth. That's your value to yourself. How do you value yourself in your life? How do you validate yourself? Do you have to validate? You don't have to validate yourself. You don't have to prove yourself to anybody else, only to yourself. So now, when you're doing that, figuring out what is success for you and how to become more successful, acknowledging your self worth, your true value for yourself. The next thing is choose. CHOOSE. Choose to live and not let others. Let me say that again. Choose to live and not let others dictate how you should live. Don't let somebody dictate how you're supposed to wear your clothes. What colors do you wear? What size pants, underwear, t-shirts, socks, sandals Dress shoes, no shoes, sneakers, hats, no hats. Don't let someone dictate that for you. You make a decision and do that for you. Because the more you can do for yourself, I'll say it again, the more that you can do for yourself, the better you shall be. Two, or the fifth element, set your standards. Set your standards. Give yourself goals to be achieved by you, no one else but yourself, because you're not comparing yourself to others. You're not comparing your life, your lifestyle with others. You know that the truth of who you are is your most valuable essence in your own life. And you're choosing now to live it without someone else dictating it to you. So you give yourself goals to be achieved with quality intact. Quality is the degree of excellence you add to your life. In other words, once you know that you are the true essence, the true value of your own life, now you're setting a standard, but it's a standard that you live by. It's not a standard that someone else hopes you to live by. And a standard is a quality. What is the quality that you're seeking to express or achieve? What is that for you? What does that mean for you? What does that look like to you? Other people, I was talking to a guy who became a good friend of mine since the last time I was on Lloyd's show with Brandon Smith on Lloyd Strayhorn's Live with Lloyd back there on the 29th of May. And this gentleman, he lives in California. We talk at least 2, 3 times a month now. We have a great time. He says, Elder, you got some stories to tell. And I said, oh, man, so do you. But what's so great about this is that it is best to know what kind of quality you already are expressing in life right now. So quantity is important. If you can multiply something into more, that's important, like food, the right kind of food, exercise, rest, meditation, prayer, fasting, being around other people. These things help. I know one time someone said to me, who are you going to collaborate with? Why are you trying to do everything by yourself? Well, here's the answer. I'm already doing meditation for what? 53 years, and I've developed classes and courses around it during this time of my life. I am what? 10 plus times 7. So somewhere when I hit 22, 21, 3 times 7, I was already in college sharing what I knew about the study of the I Ching and the Tao Te Ching or Tao Te Ching. I was already sharing some of the philosophies and finer points of the beginner stage of studying Tai Chi Chuan and Qigong. I was already sharing all of this with my fellow students about meditation. And I'm still sharing. And I'm now teaching. The thing is, I have something to offer to fellow citizens, global citizens. I've been writing books. I've been here I've been here 13 years in the state of New Mexico, 13 of those same years in the city here of Albuquerque. And in the past 6 years or more, I have written 6 books. Now, I actually have 7. The one that I wrote before was before I came here. I wrote it while I was still in Long Island and working and doing things with revolving around meditation and tarot and numerology and rainbow chakra meditations. All that stuff I was doing back there in New York, Long Island, New York City, always doing it. Then it spilled to New Jersey. Then from there it spilled to here. But I've always been doing. I never stopped. Always still doing, still building, still teaching, still doing studies, still gathering information and applying it. Why? Because I'm here to assist other people, not just take everything for myself. So somewhere down the line, we have to decide what is going to be our standard for success. Are we in a position to acknowledge that? Are we in a position to know our self-worth? Do we need to go get validation? Sometimes yes, and a whole lot of times no. And I say that because other people don't see what you see. Other people in general can see what you see and know what you see, but each person's experience is different from person to person. No two people are having the same exact dream, same exact out of body experience, same exact understanding of crystals, gems, and hardened lava, and all this other stuff. It's different from person to person. So when you set a standard, you're going to give yourself goals, right? Giving yourself goals to be achieved with quality. It's got to be dealing with some form of excellence. You can't be lazy. You can't procrastinate, but you can be lazy sometimes and procrastinate sometimes. But eventually, you got to get it out there. I used to have some friends on Long Island and in Jersey too. We always used to do this. They thought they were just joking around, but I would listen to the tone of their voice and I could read the aura and I could see the inflection in their aura. And they would call, hey, Papa Bear. That's what they call me, nickname. Why don't you do this, 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 and this? Oh, I got this idea and we can do this together. Well, doing it together, I always experience negative things, negative fallouts. So I'm always a person who works from the outside than in. I'm basically an anchor. I can anchor a whole room just for one person to do what they need to do. So I don't have to be that active. I just choose to be very active. Sometimes even when people are collaborating or having partnerships through business, sometimes not every business partner is ethical. Not every business partner has integrity and is honest. Not every business partner is truthfully and truly communicating the truth of who they are into the business relationship. And often, one of the partners suffers because the other is not doing their work. They're not doing what they agreed to do. So they leave everything on the partner. You know, breakthroughs come to you in every size. So once you know what to be successful about, Once you know that you must accept and acknowledge the truth of yourself in order to start on the road, the journey to success, once you understand the valuable essence in your own life of what you're actually worth, once you choose to live and not let others dictate how you should live, once you set up these standards, then you begin to realize what? You begin to realize that breakthroughs come to you in every size. Breakthrough comes to you in every size. And I've also noticed this: breakthroughs come to you, and you can recognize what constitutes a breakthrough. You can feel ahead of time the people showing up who are going to assist you in having the breakthrough. You're going to know ahead of time because the still small voice known as your higher self is telling you, all right, we've done this before. Oh, we didn't do this before. Oh, this sounds good, sounds safe, feels safe. Because feeling is what, like Reverend Ike said, let the feeling get the blessing. So if it feels right, follow through. If it doesn't feel like, don't follow through. If what you are seeing is what you've been praying for and affirming and using affirmative prayer for and decrees for, then get out the way and let the blessing come to you. I said breakthroughs come to you in every size, but you are the first breakthrough. You are the first breakthrough in your own life when you decided to do what? To be born into this world. When you're born into this world as a baby, you don't know upstairs from downstairs. You don't know right from left. You don't know hot from cold. And as you get older as a child, you start experiencing what hot could be: touching hot pot, being burnt by hot water, running into the wrong people, hanging out with the wrong people. You get to do all of this, see all this, and experience all of this. And then you begin to take on the consciousness and conscious reality that you are exactly what you're looking for. You are the person of wealth. You are the person of health. You are the person of laughter and joy and happiness. You are the ideal person that makes up a partnership. Why? Because you've worked on yourself. You don't have any more shadow selves to work on. You continue to work and build upon who you are. You're not building upon lie after lie after lie and rumor after rumor and gossip after gossip. You're not doing any of those things. You've given that away. You don't do it anymore. In fact, you bury those things that you don't need anymore. And then you accept, you embrace this new part of yourself. You acknowledge your errors. You acknowledge those things that weren't sure about, but now it's brought to your attention. You've seen these things over and over and over again and have agreed to receive them and then implement them into your life. So you're not in competition with anybody else. You're not judging someone else's situation. Like my late mother could say, if she was here today, don't be judging that person. Can you assist that person? Well, if your heart is in the right space and you're truly sincere, you will know if the person before you is honest or not. You now know what it is that you want to achieve. And you know it's better to have quality items than to have quantity. Hey, you want to spend $325 for Air Jordan sneakers? So be it. You have a whole lot of money saved up so you can do that. If not, get a shoe that's similar. You are the cause for change. I'll say that again. You are the cause for change. You cause yourself to change. Here, then here. You know exactly what you're striving to do and to accomplish here and here. You're welcome. These things you are putting in motion for yourself. You are deciding what it is that you want to do. You are the one who makes the proper choice. Let me bring it from Reverend Ike. He gives you 4 points. This is his perennial book. Can't miss it. Thank you, K. Ra. So he said in here, treat yourself right. He said, whatever you can see with your own eyes and with your third eye, because the two eyes are connected to the third eye, whatever you can see, you can be. He said, first decide where you want to go. If there's some place you're trying to get to, you got to decide within here and here. You got to feel the thought, you got to feel the experience ahead of time. And then you got to give yourself a pep talk about it. Before I moved here to Albuquerque, I used to go online, wherever I was staying at in New Jersey. I would go online and I would go to the website. And on the website, it would say, it's a trip. It's a trip.org. That was the favorite website I would go to. And they would have a Visitors Bureau digital magazine. But they would always say, if you want to get a hard copy, go to the bottom and fill it in. Well, every year from 2009, actually from 2008, all the way up to 2011, 2008, 2009, 2010, and 2011, I got 4 magazines, Albuquerque's Visitors Bureau magazines. Why? And I wore them things out. I wore the cover off. Why? Because it talk about the different neighborhoods in Albuquerque, the medium income, the school districts, whether there was high crime or low crime or no crime, the restaurants, the famous restaurants, the balloon fiesta that will happen every year. Now that I'm here, I had the pleasure to go with some other friends. They had gone in 2011 because they met some people at a gathering, at a party. I was able to, when I got here, I had just missed it. Came in November, it was in October. But with those friends, I came to 2012. Man, it was cold outside. I was out there drawing balloons. But I was doing it, but I was cold. I would go in and out of the Abruzzo Johansson Hot Air Balloon Museum. Every year they have it in the back. 2013, it was cold. Then we had a streak of heat. 2014, it was like 70 degrees. 2015, 75 degrees. 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019. So I arrived here in November 15th on my late father's birthday using the Amtrak. So that means I used Amtrak twice to get here. Came with the friends that I had from Jersey. We came by airplane November 2011. Actually, it was November 2010. And in between there, I went to psychic fairs with some friends and met an indigenous fellow His name was Ted Silverhand, and he would give me palm reading. And then he said it. He said you would live in a place where you could come out and see the mountains to the east. And after arriving in these apartments, after staying in a private house, two private houses prior to these senior apartments, one night it was a little warm, and I decided to go outside. Moved into the senior complex in May 1st to the 6th of 2018. It was warm. I decided just wanted to go outside and take a peek. Man, I went outside at 11 o'clock at night and tears came to my eyes. Why? Because what Ted Silverhand had told me was true. I could look across to the east, right in front of the apartment complex. We were a little higher in that part, and then you see the roadway, you see the scene go downhill a little bit. You can see the city lights lit up, house lights lit up. And what did I see? A silhouette of the Sandia Peak Mountains. I said, I could see them. That ain't but 5, 6, 7, 8 miles from me, from where I'm at. I could get in a ride, I could ride there and get into a section called the foothills and see them up close. Well, I've been here 13 years, still didn't get up in a balloon yet, hot air balloon. Been close though. Still didn't take the tram, which is what, a mile and a half and reaches 10,000 feet to the top. But I was fortunate that I met some other friends who took me on some little rides with them and showed me landmark locations. All the time I've been here, I've been to Hamas. I've been there during the wintertime. You can see them dance in the winter. Cold, cold, cold. See people, the indigenous people dancing all year round. I've been to the what they call the feast days with other friends. And that was fun too. We got to know a shaman, third generation shaman named Redbird. That's his native name. He was a Cochiti shaman from the Cochiti Reservation. Got a chance to eat at his home, eat at the homes of other people. We've been out to the Isleta Reservation, south of here, eat in the homes of indigenous people that invited us. So I've been around, I've seen some places. But now I'm not awestruck anymore. You know, it's like once you see a celebrity and you're around a celebrity enough, it becomes a regular thing. Very regular. I was sharing with another friend of mine yesterday over the phone. I said, you know what? He said, what, Brother Bay? He says, when I used to be in what they call the Moorish Science Temple, I was riding around one particular Sunday in Brooklyn. And there was this woman, I forget her name now, but she was a student of my astronumerology friend Lloyd Strahan. She was one of his original students. I was one of his original students too. And she invited me to have dinner with she and her daughter in Brooklyn. Funny thing, where I had to go, she failed to tell me that exactly how to get to her. And the street was St. James Place and Nostrand, or St. James and Fulton. I think it was St. James and Nostrand. Well, I told my friend yesterday, now that wasn't a street. She was like several more streets up and around the corner. And here I was with my fez on. At that time, I wasn't attending a temple in Brooklyn yet, but I was attending a temple in St. Albans, Queens. And I saw these people, all ages, crowded out, and some guys were rapping with a mic. I'm riding around trying to figure out how do I get to her home. So I wound up parking the car across the street from where these guys were rapping. And there was a soubrette store there, and there was another one. I parked on the side where there was nobody standing. I went inside, and guy kind of was familiar with the neighborhood. Finally, I used the payphone. I called. When I came back out, a group of these guys across the street had been eyeing me, eyeballing me. And eventually, they want to know who I was. They've seen the feds before, but who was I really? I basically told them I was there to visit a friend on such and such a street, and one of the guys, I didn't even know him. One of the guys on the street, he was nice enough. He said, I could show you where how to get there. He said, because where you're going down is you've got like, the neighborhood is split up. You got Americans, Jamaicans, people from Cuba and so forth. And he said, there's gangs all over this block. You don't know the environment. Might get, hurt in here. So anyway, he drove with me and showed me how to get over. And of course, he walked back. But I told a friend this experience because I remember back then seeing, but not knowing who he was, who later became the notorious B.I.G., Chris Wallace, better known as Biggie Smalls, rapping as a youngster. I say this because there's always life going on around us, the activity of life. And here's something that Reverend Ike would say. Sometimes you got to see a place with the mind's eye, with your third eye. You got to know what it is that you're looking at. He said, and in this power of time, you have to kind of make up your mind to figure out what in the heck it is that you want to do. And are you ready to do that? So I'm going to tell you what he says about the 4 steps. And I should have pegged this before pulling the book out. And it's all about knowing exactly what you want to do. Here's it, 183. This book was so hooked up that Reverend Ike put together because he and his ministers could teach this thing to you the same exact way Sunday. He had 52 chapters, very smart way. Together 52 chapters as in a lesson. Everybody had it. All the ministers underneath him had it. Then you all could teach the same thing every Sunday around all the different churches. This is chapter 34. 4 steps to get what you want. A science of living principle. Now, he took the Proverbs first, and he says, Proverbs chapter 29, verse 18. Where there is no vision, comma, the people perish. You gotta know what it is. You gotta see. One guy is now teaching one of his mentees saying, seeing from the future. Catchy phrase. He says, the science of living principle. You have within you the infinite power of God to bring into existence whatever good you want to be, to do, and to have. I'll say that again. A science of living principle. You have within you the infinite power of God. You have within you the infinite power of God to bring into existence whatever good you want to be, do, and have. It's already here. It's already dwelling within you. He says, study and meditate upon each and every step, each and every day. So you can't look at it one way, one day, and decide I'm not going to do it. He said, because consistency will build you a new consciousness. I'm paraphrasing a lot of his teachings when I say that. Consistency will bring about positive change. He said there's four things. One, decide it. What is, can you think, sit down after meditating day in and day out? Can you finally decide on what it is that you want to do, be or have? Two, start believing that you can have that thing that you have been meditating on and thinking about. I use this particular chapter to assist myself to come here. Because once I decided I was going to leave New Jersey, the universe worked along with me, put people and places and events into place so I could do this move. I believed that it was going to happen. If I didn't have any belief, if I didn't have any faith that it was going to be possible, I'd still be over there right now in New Jersey. After I decided on what I wanted to be, do, and have, and after I was believing wholeheartedly, feeling it, I had to what? See it. Where? In my mind. I had to be able to envision. I had to be able to give myself a creative visualization. That's why I went and ordered the Visitors Bureau, Albuquerque Visitors Magazine. So I didn't have to always be online wherever I was on the internet. I could carry it around with me physically. And I did that. I'd go downtown in Patterson to the Patterson Mall down there. I'd pick a place to sit down and have breakfast. I'd be down there all day. I even go to a movie. I start seeing and envisioning, putting the pieces together. I remember meeting an artist. His name is David Buckbinder. Unique name, right? He was from Fair Lawn, New Jersey. He was working in the mall in Patterson. He was an artist. He was one of many artists. They had professional graffiti artists. They had people that would create toys. They were renting booths and selling their work. And I was drawn to David Buckbinder. He and I started talking. And guess what happened? He turned around to go help somebody else in the part of the gallery where he had his studio. And on his back was JIMEZ. And I said, when he came back, I said, I just saw something, I'm a spiritual person, metaphysical person. I said, David, when you walked away on your back, etherically, I could see JIMEZ. He said, what? I said, yeah, I could see JIMEZ. What's that? Do you know somebody? Is that a place or a name? He turned around and said, my sister lives in Jemez. That's how you pronounced it. Jemez. Because the J is a Y. Jemez, like an H. I said, where's that? He said, New Mexico. Boom. I was like, wow. And I started laughing. He said, why are you laughing? I said, I'm planning to move to Albuquerque, New Mexico. He said, well, Jemez is about 20 minutes, 40 minutes away. I said, ain't this something? Higher self brought it in so I could see it. That was confirmation. I'm going to move one day. Then I used to go to a Jamaican restaurant around the corner, right there in Patterson where I live. And there was a Jamaican restaurant. There was also a barbershop. I used to get my hair cut there on Saturdays, but I would go to the Jamaican restaurant. Oh man, I was getting curried this, curried that. peas and rice, beans and rice, whatever. The woman had on a TV. She said, "You like watching TV?" I said, "Yeah, you can watch whatever you want." What did she turn on? Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad is like the TV show MASH, on for so many seasons. But where was Breaking Bad done? It was shot footage, weekly footage, shot in New Mexico, further south of Albuquerque, but a part of Albuquerque, South Valley side of Albuquerque. That's where it was done. It's bits and pieces coming together. Why? Because now I heard about it, I can see it. In fact, when I would ride the bus to go downtown to Patterson, we would ride past this doctor's office. And the doctor's name was Juan, Juan for John, Juan Albuquerque. The city of Albuquerque. This man had it for a last name. I said, okay, that's in less than 2 or 3 weeks. I done been told that I'm going. So I went from deciding to believing to now seeing the potential that this was going to take place for me. And how did I start it to see it? Well, I already knew. Reverend Ike says it in here. You're going to use visualization. But I already know about that. He said the most important thing beyond those first 3 steps is you had to what? Now feel it. He would say all the time, let the feeling get the blessing. If you felt positive, positive blessing. If you feel negative about something, a negative blessing. In other words, the universe is going to respond to that which is the heaviest, has the most energy in it. That's what it's going to bring forward. Once I met those friends and I had an opportunity to do what? Get on a plane with them and come visit for a few days and a few nights. That solidified it. Now going back and had a further boost, further kick in the pants to get out of New Jersey. My friends came before me. I came a year later after them to do what? I hung out for a week, spring break, and took the Amtrak round trip from New Jersey to Albuquerque and back to New Jersey. And to realize in 2001, 9 years prior, 10 years prior to that, I kept getting visions telling a few of my students, it's nighttime, and I see these trees going by, and then I see these little dots, and something I can't make out by those little white dots, and then these trees going by. Then it occurred to me, I'm seeing in advance me sitting at the window in coach at nighttime on the Amtrak. And I would tell my friend, I don't know, this is 2001. I'm supposed to take a trip. I don't know where I'm taking this trip. I'm going to get on the train. It's going to be round trip. But when this all came together, round trip, celebrated my birthday out here in March 14th through the 20th. I celebrated my birthday in 2011, which at that point, 2011, so I was 62. Yeah, I was 62 years old, roughly. Came out to celebrate my birthday. Loved it so much. Not only did I celebrate my birthday hanging out with some friends here, but I was apartment hunting. And the more I saw, the better I got, the more comfortable I got, the more excited I got. Something happened. My father came to me in a vision Said, son, what are you waiting for? That was July of 2011. And I called my friend up at the time. I says, okay, something happened. My father came to me. It's time. I'm ready to go, ready to leave. Stayed with them for 6 weeks, shared a house with another person, stayed with him about 4 or 5 years. It got a little funky after a while. But then, because I met some people in the process of doing what I normally do, metaphysically and spiritually, I was able to stay with this couple, then found this spot. Felt like Sherman Hemsley of the TV show that he had where he would, the song, I'm moving on up to the east side, to the deluxe apartment in the sky. Oh yeah, I'm moving on up. Finally getting a piece of the pie. I was walking like him from this complex all the way back to where I'd stayed at my friend's property, and they let me stay there rent free for almost a year. In fact, a whole year, a year and a month. But then I got here, and I'm still here. We have to decide what it is that we want to be, do, or have. Reverend Ike was very adamant about that. Then you have to believe that it can happen. You got to make room in your head to see it, to visualize it, seeing yourself. But what works better is when you can go to the target. This is how you buy clothes. This is how you buy cars. This is how you get houses. This is how you get to see land. This is how you get to meet new people. You created it here. When the consciousness gets that strong and becomes crystal clear, then what you are thinking about must come into fruition. The universe will give it to you, but you have to get on point. When you get on point and you know it, you start feeling it. Because when you start to feel it, it starts to vibrate deep on the inside of you. I had to take on the persona of being like a pregnant woman. The journey is here. I'm carrying it in my body. I could feel it in my body. I'd go out in Patterson, East Patterson, to the park, and I'd walk that park 3 or 4 times, and then I'd do other things. I practiced Tai Chi. I'd read a book. I walked. I practiced Tai Chi. I read a book. Then I envisioned myself doing Tai Chi here all the time. Once I made up my mind, once I knew that I was going to do this, and money came for me to do it. From my students in New Jersey, so you what? You doing what? Yeah, I'm coming here. Why? I said, it's time. It's time to leave. I don't want to get stuck here with another winter. And it happened. I came here. People say, when are you coming back? I have clients right now, in Jersey, especially some on Long Island. They go, you never been back? I says, no, I don't have any reason to. I remember they were trying to get me to come back to Long Island. And this is just before COVID hit. And I had a very bad dream. And I told the person that was mad because I wasn't coming back, I said, this is what I see. I see a whole bunch of caskets lined up, going to be dropped into the earth. Some going to be put to be burned. And I'm in one of them caskets. And yet I jump out of the casket last minute before it's buried in the earth or before it's burned. I said, that's an omen. Something is about to happen, and it's going to hit, it's going to sweep the country, but it's going to hit strong. I didn't go back. Many people over there perished. I stayed here, and I was thankful that I received the vision to remain here. Well, I say this because it's time. It is time for us to recognize, to accept, to love yourself unconditionally and truthfully develop greater self respect and greater self awareness, because every moment of your life you are having a breakthrough of all sizes. So you got to determine what kind of breakthroughs you want. Don't limit yourself. Opportunity is coming. You can live better, you can be better, we can be healthier, we can move forward. We just have to decide. Then the universe works along with us. That's essential. Got any comments, any questions? I want to search for some announcements. I'm affiliated with Resident Essentials online, Facebook, the group, but I'm also a person who teaches meditation on Saturday mornings. Our new location is 2703 2703 Broad Bent, Broadbent Parkway, Northeast, Suite J, in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and the zip code is 87107. There are many things, many of different events that go on there. So I want to bring this out and see it for ourselves. Here are some of the events that we have happening coming up there. We have a drumming circle that's going to happen tomorrow. If you're here in Albuquerque, there's a drumming circle with Lori. Lori's a very nice woman, and she does drumming. And she's going to be leading the drumming tomorrow, right there at Resident Essentials, Esoteric School of Metaphysics, at 7 p.m. And the donation fee is $10. You bring your own drum, any kind of drum you have. And she has some drums that she's going to bring. That's unique. That's tomorrow, Friday, 7 p.m. This Saturday at 1 p.m., come meditate with me in person with my Creative Path Work meditation series, 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. 45 minutes of that is doing me teaching you different meditation and mindfulness meditation techniques, and the fee is only $10. Now, I used to do this for more, but through their nonprofit, and even before it was nonprofit, I'm doing it for $10. I take debit, credit cards, personal checks, and cash. So that's meditation. It's an introduction to meet your spirit guides and your higher self, to meditate. But there's someone else who's teaching a class. So at 1 p.m. tomorrow for 2 hours, this woman is teaching this class, meditation induction to meet your spirit guide. And this lady, if I bring it up, at 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., this woman is, her name, let me give her name here. Her name is Lee, Lee. Lee is going to put you in a deeply immersive meditation experience. She'll guide you into a profound levels of consciousness through captivating visualizations that awaken the senses. And as you reach the ideal state of meditation, Lee will facilitate a personal introduction to up to 3 of your spirit guides. So if you want to take advantage of this event, Saturday, June 22nd, Lee Mitchell, wonderful lady, Lee Mitchell, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. for $40 at Resident Essentials, Esoteric School of Metaphysics. Get in touch with Lee at RSVP, Lee, Lee, at crystals I think it's Soul Path. Yes, crystalsoulpath.com, or call her mobile number 719-221-4275. That's so that you can participate in that 2 hour function that she's giving. That's essential. Very good for you to experience. Now, there are some other things that are going to be happening there. You can become a confident crystal reader on July 30th and the 31st, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. July 30th and 31st, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., using Barbara Porcelain's tested approach. She will guide you through the following: metaphysical properties of key crystals, developing your crystal reading set, placement of crystals, and how they impact the readings. You want to be there. This is with her. The cost includes all supplies. The cost is $555, a 2-day event. Again, at 2703 Broadbent Parkway Northeast, Suite J, zip code 87107, to be there with Barbara Portsley as she teaches you that. On Monday, June the 24th, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., and this is for men and women, this is Empower Women, a day of conversation and meditation to bring change. This is Monday, next week, Monday, June 24th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Empower Women. This is for men and women as well. Empower Women, a day of conversation and meditation to bring change. And I think when you come to this event, you have an opportunity to perhaps bring some food along with you. Let me bring this up again. You probably bring some food to share because it's an opportunity for everybody to get connected to each other. Also, there's an event that Michelle Quirky, very wonderful person, $45 a person, or bring a friend, $40 a piece, for Saturday, June 29th, 1 to 3 p.m. And that's the soul retrieval workshop. Soul retrieval. You bring a yoga mat, a pillow, and or blanket if you want. This is an opportunity to have a soul retrieval workshop and have this experience. Relaxation, meditation, help finding your safe space, soul retrieval, affirmations to help move forward, and time to journal, to write and or art about your experience. You want to RSVP by June the 28th because space is limited. So, if you want to get more of this information, you need to come to Resonant Essentials, the group, and see this information. Or email me and I will email you the information. If you are here in the city of Albuquerque, you can participate in these events. All right, it's time for me to move on, move out, get out. I want to thank everybody that was keyed in. K-Ra, I'll say thanks for the wisdom. You're calling me Uncle Bay. I'm feeling old. All right. I know some other people are in here. You're not the only one. And sometimes we have those days where we don't want to be seen, and that's okay. So I'm going to put some hearts out here, put some smiley faces, some celebration cups, and the number 100. Put that into effect. If you have never subscribed here, oh, my favorite Indigo Moon is in here. Thank you. One day I will pilgrimage to Albuquerque. I know you will. I'll be jumping out of the clouds when you get here, Indigo Moon. And the same with K-Ra. So, if you've never subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you want a notification, hit the bell. This is when you know that something is going on. I'm usually here though every Thursday at about 1 or 1:15 p.m. And as you can see, I'm long-winded. I've been on here an hour and a half now. I'm only supposed to be on here no more than 30, 45 minutes. I'm a talker. So thank you for joining me. Stay in touch. If you want personal information about what I do, email me at iam.circleofgrace with the number one at the end at gmail.com, and I'll send you what I'm personally doing. I'll send you my website. Getting ready to teach about my new book. My new book is out on Amazon, which is Radiant Heart, 7 Amazing Pathways to Connect, Activate, and Communicate with Your Higher Self. A paperback book with 25 chapters, but the course is a 13-week course. I'm condensing 25 into 13 lessons. Email me or go to my website, www.circleofgrace with the number one at the end .us. Circle of Grace with the number one at the end .us. You might see the first page pop up and talking about it, so you can somehow get into the course. Now, I teach courses whether I got 30 people, 20 people, or 4 people, or 2 people. I still teach it. It's a good exercise for me, but it's also an opportunity for people to buy, if they want, the recorded videos. So I'm going to sign off now. It's time for me to make a banana smoothie. You got one banana sitting over there looking at me in an empty blender and some almond milk. All right, everybody. Take care of yourself. See you next Thursday. iam.circlegrace1@gmail.com. My grace is your grace. Until next time, remember that divine grace is a blessing as we are alive and well in the age of remembrance. And again, if you want to check my books, you can go to my website as well, circlegrace1.us, and click on one of the purple links. One of those purple links at the top says books on Amazon. If you click on there, another page opens up and you can read about the different books. And I have the direct links that will take you right to Amazon where you can go purchase the book. Thank you for your time. Be well, take care of yourself, and do what you got to do, but keep improving. Take care now.